And when I was dead, you gave me new life. I'm lifting you up with all of my might. I don't care who's to the left, to the right, you're all that's on my mind. Don't really care what they say, but I think I feel so alive. I'm unashamed, I want to wake. Not gonna hide, can't deny you're my everything. Here's to the free, who still believe. You're the star of the show that we came to see. With all my heart.
Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and this is race number 10 in season number 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. We are here at the Pocono Raceway for the Herr's Live Life with Flavor 400. It's a 32-lap race around the Tricky Triangle, this 2.5-mile racetrack in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, my home state racetrack. And it is going to be a very fascinating race here today, because fuel strategy is very interesting here. Let me just say that. Like they do in real life, these guys can sometimes run this race backwards, and we're going to possibly see some guys come down the pit lane very early on in this race, just to kind of offset the strategy a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all shakes out, but I can guarantee you that the racing on the racetrack is going to be pretty good. And we're going to have a great day here in the home state of Pennsylvania. Points coming into today's event, Ricky Stevenson still holds the points lead in the number 38. He has 250 points towards the championship. Noah Cars is 28 points behind. Stuart Gratton, 29 points behind. Daniel Bouchard is 36 points behind. And Cody Sill is 41 points behind coming into today's event. Ricky Stevenson, Cody Sill, Al Agassi, Isaac Nichols, Cameron Garlington, Blaine Keys, and Matt Dalio are all locked into the chase for Season 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. And if you win and you're a full-time driver, you're going to join those 7 guys here today. We had 2 part-time winners so far this season. The last winner here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series was Dale Salzman in the Coca-Cola 600. He is not racing here today, but because we had 2 part-time drivers winning this season, that guarantees that the top 2 in points are guaranteed into the chase no matter what. Let's head trackside to get the engines fired for the 10th race of the season here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, season number 6.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
And a great command there to fire these guys up. We have ourselves a rookie driver. Starting on the pole position, that is Adam Lewis in the number 22. He will start alongside the number 21 of Chris Skinlar. A couple of veterans in row number 2. We see Ryan Madden and Noah Cars alongside each other there. Eli Bright will start alongside the 27 of Alexander Rowe. A couple of guys who are already in the chase. Front Row Motorsports teammates. Brad Stover, I'm sure he's really proud of this team here. Al Legacy, Ricky Stevenson in row number 4. Have Jordan Lopez and the only defending winner of this race in the field, Trey Bartow, in the number 4, who won the first ever race here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Daniel Bouchard will start alongside Herr Arvin Alonso. We have the 41 of Zachary Fitzwater starting alongside William Johnston in the 75. William Johnson has been one of the best part-time drivers this season. As a matter of fact, he's in the top 10 in the point standings as a part-time driver. That's how good the 75 has been this season. Zachary Fitzwater will start alongside him in that row there. I actually already mentioned Zachary Fitzwater. Behind those guys, it's Jesse Turner and Cameron Garlington, a couple of Daytona 500 champions there. And it's Jay Jefferson and Elijah Gordon. A 32-lap race around this 2.5-mile speedway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. 80 miles of action here today for the Herr's Live Life with Flavor 400. And like I said, the pit strategy could get very interesting in today's event. Anyways, after rather interesting Coca-Cola 600, gonna have another interesting one here at the Pocono Raceway. What turn 4? We don't got one here. This is the Tricky Triangle, one of the most unique racetracks we go to in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, and we've been going here ever since the beginning. The pace car will pull off. Adam Lewis, Chris Skinlard, a pair of rookies, will lead us to the green flag here. We're racing in the Herr's Live Life with Flavor 400 at Pocono. Somebody is ready to win a race, and his name is Ryan Madden in the 77, right to the inside of Adam Lewis at the start. He pushes Lewis back to 4th, and the veteran driver of Ryan Madden leads the field for Furniture Racing and Nathan Stapleton. Eli Bright runs in the 2nd position, driving the ride that won here in season number 5. Nicholas Samadio drove this car last season, and the number 15 is out, or actually 2nd right now. Driving for Germain Racing and Jonathan Rames. Al Lagasse, the Richmond winner, runs in the 3rd position, and it's Adam Lewis and Jordan Lopez, the top 5. Trey Bartow, with help from his teammate Zachary Fitzwater, moving their way up through the field. Jesse Turner as well in the 43. He almost won the Napa Truck Series race here last season, but lost it on the final lap to Jack Porkins. Now, Turner is a great driver, let me tell you that. But he's had some struggles this season, and just basically in his career since season 2 here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Eli Bright to the inside of Ryan Madden for the lead. Al Lagasse up to 2nd. Adam Lewis looking to take 3rd from the 77. And Cody Smart, the owner of Penske Racing, loves to see this 22 running up front. Cody Smart and his team have not had the best of seasons, but Adam Lewis been doing pretty good. Past couple of races have been very good for this number 22 team, and Adam Lewis with a great chance at winning here today at the Pocono Raceway. Jordan Lopez runs in the 4th position. Alexander Rowe is up to 5th. Here comes Trey Bartow in the number 4, the season 1 winner here at Pocono, trying to get to the inside of Ryan Madden, but out front it's the 13 of Eli Bright. Number 34 of Al Lagasse right behind him. He's going to try to get to the inside of him for the lead, and Lagasse will attempt to take it from the 13. They're side by side through turn 1. Lagasse with the advantage through the corner. They're still side by side as they go down the Log Pond straightaway. And the Richmond winner trying to become the first driver to win multiple races this season. When Josh Alexander was driving this car last year, he was the first driver to win multiple races in season number 5. Will Lagasse do the same in that number 34? We're just going to have to see. He might be able to do it here today at the Pocono Raceway. He has cleared Eli Bright for the lead. 3rd place, Alexander Rowe to the inside of Jordan Lopez. And Rowe is going to attempt to take it, but they're going to remain side by side. That's what Pocono brings us. We get a lot of side by side racing here at this racetrack because of the nature of this racetrack. All the corners are completely different, and it can get very interesting. Especially when we get these side-by-side battles. Alexander Rowe still to the inside. Turn 1's the best place to make a pass. But Jordan Lopez getting a run on the outside lane there, trying to get around the 27. Not going to be able to do so. Trey Bartow still moving his way up in this number 4. He's won here before. He knows how to get it done. And even though the way he won in that Pocono race was not really the, most dominating way of winning, Bartow still knows how to win at Pocono, as he's the only driver in the field who has won here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Of course, he won that race off of fuel strategy in the oddest way. Caution came out. We were not going to get back to a restart. And Blaine Keys, who dominated that race in the 42, he could have gotten his first career Chick-Fil-A Cup Series win all the way back in Season 1. He actually had to wait until this season to do so. But Blaine Keys in that race came down the pit lane knowing that there was not going to be another restart. And Bartow stayed out and took the victory. Of course, Bartow would love to get the win in a little more original fashion here today. And he is doing so right now, running in the 4th position, moving up in the number 4. Big shout out to Jesse Turner in the 43 in the top 10 right now. He's moving up as well. Skinlard, he eventually fell back. Actually, he initially fell back in the number 21 at the start of this race. But he is finding his way back to the inside of these guys and trying to get up front. Eli Bright is still out front in the number 13, followed by Alexander Rowe, Al Legacy, Trey Bartow, and Ryan Madden. The top 5 right now here at the Pocono Raceway in the Herr's Live Life with Flavor 400. So I said that these guys might race this race a little bit backwards. Not seeing anybody come in yet. So very interesting thing there. I thought these guys were going to do so, but I might be wrong about it. Well, we might see some guys come down the pit lane here shortly. But these guys can sometimes run this race backwards. Because first time I attempted to record this, it was another crash fest. We did have guys come in a little bit early and in anticipation of strategy as well. Number 27, Alexander Rowe to the inside. We might possibly see some guys come down this time. And you got to be careful coming down the pit lane in this pack here at Pocono. Because sometimes you can tap somebody, they get into the outside wall, and it's just mayhem from there. I am probably wrong about these guys running this race backwards. I think they are anticipating this to be a rather green flag race here today. And in anticipation of that, they're going to stay out and hope for the best. Anyways, Alexander Rowe on the 27 leads the field. Eli Bright, Al Legacy, Ryan Madden, Trey Bartow, the top 5. So Rowe leads the field. It's been a battle between Rowe and Bright for these past couple of laps here. The number 13 is going to get back to the inside of the 27 and trying to make the pass through the tunnel turn. It's a tough place to make a pass, but Eli Bright's going to make it stick in the number 13. Al Legacy in the 34 to the inside for second. Trey Bartow moving his way up in the number 4. And Bartow to the inside of the 27 for the second position. Not going to be able to do so quite yet. Eli Bright back out front in the number 13, followed by Al Legacy, Alexander Rowe, Trey Bartow, and Jordan Lopez. So forget what I said about these guys running this race backwards. They're not doing that. I thought they were going to come in. Honestly thought they were going to do so, but they did not. So it's probably going to be a normal race here today at the Pocono Raceway, and these guys are probably going to wait until they need fuel to come down the pit lane. Might want to watch for this. Eric Ulmenhart in the 15. It looked like he almost made it 3 wide there. And 3 wide here at Pocono is not the best thing to do, especially through the tunnel turn. But I believe they're going to fan it back down to 2 wide, and we're going to keep on racing here in the Herr's Live Life with Flavor 400. Now they're coming in, and this is early. Let me tell you that 9 laps in is very early, so I was correct. These guys are running this race backwards, and quite a few of them are. Look at this. Most of the field down the pit lane. They're double wide in the pit lane. This could get interesting. With these guys going double wide like this, they might run into each other. Gotta figure all this out, but this is going to shake up the field tremendously. You see Blaine Keys, a lot of these guys found their pit stalls. A few guys stayed out. And I think it was 11 guys who stayed out on the racetrack. So Eric Ulmenhart inherits the lead. Then it's Caleb Hoffman, Matt Dalio, Marty Johnson, Isaac Nichols, Tristan Allen, Jonathan King, Anthony Lopez, John Arp, Dane Ammon, and Reagan Whitlock. It appears that the number 13 of Eli Bright will win the race off of the pit lane of those guys who came in. Will these guys come in here? I believe they will. I am fairly sure that the fuel window here at Pocono is about 14 laps, and these guys come in a little bit early here, so they are trying to run this race backwards. Got about 22 laps to go. That's enough for one more stop. So I think this guy's trying to go for 2 stops in this race. I could be wrong. I would never be a crew chief, let me tell you that. Ricky Stevenson with an issue in the 38, our points leader. He might have had contact on the pit lane. That might be why he has not left his pit stall in the number 38. And you see a lot of these guys. Jesse Turner, he was up there in the field in the 43. He actually got caught back because of all those guys going 3 wide down the pit lane. And the number 13 who won, the number 13 won here last season with Nicholas Samadillo driving the machine, is now leading here at the Pocono Raceway with Eli Bright behind the wheel. Al Agassi is second, Trey Bartow is third, Eric Almenhart is going to find his way in the 4th position. Alexander Rowe will round out the top 5. Caleb Hoffman, Jordan Lopez, Adam Lewis, Jay Jefferson, Marty Johnson, and Ace Garcia, I believe, are the top 10 drivers. But Eli Bright, he's pulled away rather significantly in this number 13. But Al Agassi looking to close in, and same with Trey Bartow. Bartow, he was a Final Four driver last season in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. He would love to return to Homestead as a championship contender and possibly seek some redemption from his missed championship last season. Got some shuffling going on back in here. I think that might have been 3 wide. Stuart Gretton, Jonathan King, Matt Dallio back in there. And let's not count on the possibility of a caution here in this race. It's very possible that one of these guys might make a mistake, and we could have a yellow. Ricky Stevenson back out into the racetrack in the number 38. And that should be it for him right now. So he's back out of the racetrack, but 2 laps down. The points leader, not the best of days for him so far here at Pocono. Trey Bartow is closing in on the 34. Look at this group back in here. They are bunched up like crazy. Caleb Hoffman, Eric Almenhart, Adam Lewis, Jay Jefferson. These guys better be careful not to go 3 wide. Marty Johnson almost made it 3 wide to the inside of Jordan Lopez, and in between him and Ace Garcia. Ryan Madden back in here. And if one guy makes a mistake in this little group, it could be disastrous. The top 3 have pulled away from the rest of the field. Everybody else kind of bunched up behind each other from 4th place on down. And that's rather interesting in this race. About a 3-second gap between 3rd place Trey Bartow and 4th place Alexander Rowe at this point. Adam Lewis to the inside of Caleb Hoffman. He's going to try to take the lead, or try to take 5th, I should say, away from the 14. That's not for the lead. And Al Agassi and Trey Bartow are closing in here on Eli Bright for this lead. So expect these 2 guys to be in a lead battle with the 13 very shortly. But this number 13, it won here last season at the Pocono Raceway with Nicholas Samadillo driving the machine. And now Eli Bright for Germain Racing, and Jonathan Rains leads it here in Season 6 at Pocono. Look at this gap. You see this gap here? It's tremendous. Bartow and Agassi are closing in the Eli Bright, but these guys back in here are not closing into our leader, and that's why the gap gets larger and larger each time. Bartow and Rowe are very far away from each other right now, and if this thing stays this way, it's going to be a 3-horse race in this race. That sounded stupid. Anyways, Eli Bright still out front, but Agassi and Bartow closing in fast. And I think these 2 guys are probably going to work together to get around this 13. Got 2 Fords here trying to get around a Chevy. You'd think they'd work together, but Trey Bartow might try to get to the inside of Al Agassi for the 2nd position. He thinks he has the faster car right now, and why not think that? He's the only defending winner of this race in the field. He's not going to be able to make the pass on Al Agassi. You're going to need a little bit of drafting help if you want to successfully make a pass here at the Pocono Raceway. Got somebody pushing you, you're going to get the run on the guy ahead of you. But if you don't have any help, it's a little bit tough to make a pass. Now, Eli Bright, he's going to be closed in here by the 34 of Al Agassi. He got a great run through turn number 1, and he might try to get to the inside heading into the tunnel turn, and he's going to do just that. Great opportunity for Trey Bartow to take 2nd. As they remain side by side for the moment. You know what? Bartow, he's got a chance of making it 3 wide for the lead. But he's going to help the number 34 of Al Agassi take the lead away from Eli Bright, and then drop to the inside of the 34 to try to take the lead away. They're going to be side by side off of turn number 3. But Al Legacy will lead lap 15 away from Bartow and Eli Bright. Bartow to the inside of Eli Bright for second. That's his battle right now. He is going to clear the 13 exiting. No, he is not going to clear him. They're going to remain side by side for second, but I believe Bartow has the advantage on the inside lane heading into the tunnel turn. Meanwhile, these guys are closing in as they run single file. These guys all battling for position. And fourth place is closing in fast. Bartow has gotten around Eli Bright for second. He's now going to have his eyes set on Al Legacy for this lead. Nice to see a caution-free race so far here in this one. And especially after the Richmond race. Coke 600 was pretty good. Only had 2 cautions in that race. And the first caution came lap 73. So far, after halfway through the Herr's Live Life with Flavor 400, we are still caution-free here at Pocono, which is a great thing considering all the races this season. A lot of the races we've had a caution very early on, but fortunately here today, not the case. And this thing might go caution-free to the end, which means it'll be the first caution-free race of the season, if we can in fact pull it off. Of course, Road America will automatically be caution-free. No cautions are turned on at the road courses. Trey Bartow comfortably lagging behind this 34 right now, trying to get the best opportunity to pass him for the lead before this next cycle of pit stops begin. And I would almost expect these guys to come in about 6 laps from now, possibly. About lap 23, lap 24. If they can do that, they can make it to the end on one, or without coming in again. But if these guys come down with 12 laps to go, they're going to have to make another stop, and it's going to be right near the end of the race as well. Bartow got held up a little bit there, and Eli Bright almost closed in on the 4. But Bartow's going to get a good run off the corner, and so is Eli Bright. Bright might have the advantage on Bartow here. But I think this 4 is getting enough of a draft on Al Legacy to clear the 13. It's a great battle between these 3 guys right now for the lead. Bartow did not get through the tunnel turn good at all, and Legacy will pull away a little bit in the 34. Eli Bright to the inside for the second position, as Bartow on the outside here through turn 3 is going to stay out an extra lap as the second cycle has begun. They cannot make it to the end without another stop right here, I don't think. So they are not, I don't know. I just don't know if they're running it backwards or not. I feel that they are, but the way things are looking right now, I don't think that's the case. So Trey Bartow stays out. Not as many guys coming down this time as they did the first time around. Al Legacy came down as the leader. We'll see where he comes in relation to Eli Bright. And you should expect to see the number 4, Trey Bartow, to come down next time by. Rest of the field coming here. It's Bartow, Hoffman, Garcia, Keys, Jefferson. Oh boy, this could get very interesting here. Might have some guys in this outside lane trying to come down the pit lane as they're going double wide. They've figured it out so far, but do not bet on it staying that way. But somehow they figure it out. Great job by those guys avoiding a crash from happening. Most of these guys coming down the pit lane now. Hoffman's going to stay out an extra lap in the 14, so he's going to inherit the lead. Bartow is down in the number 4. We'll see where he comes down, or comes out onto the racetrack in relation to Legacy and Bright. And of those guys who came down that first time around, Al Legacy took the lead and pulled away from Eli Bright a little bit there. But there's Trey Bartow in the number 4. He's coming out onto the racetrack right now as the leaders, Al Legacy and Eli Bright, are going to be right in his path. Legacy will drive by in the 34, and the caution is not out. I thought it was. I thought I saw those caution lights on, but I did not. I see that a lot. I see it on the corner of my eye, like, oh, the caution is out, but it's not. It's not. Trey Bartow second right now. Al Legacy is the leader in the 34. Hoffman was the leader once these guys came down, I do not see him having an advantage on our leaders. So this one's going to be a race between these top 3 drivers of Al Legacy, Trey Bartow, and the 13 of Eli Bright. Or will it be? Oh, this is going to get interesting here. Hoffman in the 14 might come out right around these guys. Hoffman might have a chance at this one. It's possible. He's going to fall in the realms of Ace Garcia and Alexander Rowe. He's going to get a good finish out of this. I'll tell you that much. But anyways, Al Legacy going for his 2nd win of the season here in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, season number 6. He currently leads the field in the number 34, lap 21 of 32. And we have ourselves 12 laps to go here in the Herr's Live Life with Flavor 400. Trey Bartow 2nd, Eli Bright 3rd. Side by side for 4th between Ace Garcia and Alexander Rowe. Hoffman's still a part of this battle. And I think these 3 guys, they can close up to our 3 leaders before this race is over. But then again, we still got another cycle of pit stops to go in this race, I do believe. And that could definitely get very interesting, considering that it's going to be very late in the race. So whoever gets the best pit stop is going to be the guy who wins this race. Of course, you got to be in the top 5, top 10 in order to have that good pit stop. But if you get a great pit stop here on this next cycle, you're probably going to win this race. Al Legacy with a 1.15 second lead on Trey Bartow right now, but Bartow and Eli Bright are closing in, especially considering that Eli Bright is closing in on Bartow here, getting that draft down the straightaways and pushing that 4 closer to the 34. It's going to be 10 laps to go next time by here at the Pocono Raceway in the Herr's Live Life with Flavor 400 for Al Legacy in the number 34. But Bartow is coming in the number 4, trying to get this win for the 2nd time ever at the Pocono Raceway. And here's another thing. Trey Bartow, he's a 6-time winner in this series. I was not aware of that. I was not aware that Trey Bartow had won 6 races in this series, but he has. And Trey Bartow, if he were to win here today, he would become the all-time winningest driver in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. It would be his 14th career win and his 7th in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. So Trey Bartow does really good in this series. Like I said, he was a Final Four driver last year. I believe he got 2 wins last season as well. And Bartow definitely one of the best drivers in this series. He is showing that right now with this very strong 2nd place run, trying to close in on Al Legacy. I believe these guys are closing in as well, so if we might get a 6-car battle for this win before this race is over. Hoffman with a great chance, same with Alexander Rowe and Ace Garcia. I mean, here's what you do on this final pit stop. You don't take tires. If you remember the Dodge Throwback Series race here back in January, Emmanuel Hartnett won the race. I do not believe he took tires on the final pit stop, and he was able to hold everybody off. And considering that we're only going to have a few laps after the final cycle of pit stops, if you take fuel only, you're going to have a chance at the victory. Al Legacy did not get through that corner well at all, and Trey Bartow closed in tremendously. But will Bartow go to the inside and try to take the lead away from the 34? They have closed in. It's back to a 3-car battle for the lead here at Pocono between Al Legacy, Trey Bartow, and Eli Bright. Bartow in the number 4. He has driven this number 4 in every single season of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, and he wants to take it to victory lane once again. There he goes to the inside of Al Legacy for the lead with 8 laps to go on the Herr's Live Life with Flavor 400. And Trey Bartow in the number 4 trying to take it, not able to get the run to the inside of Legacy, and Legacy will stay out front for now. But Bartow trying to get the draft on the 34. They both got through that corner pretty well. And Bartow's going to close in here as he's right behind this 34, getting a draft down the Long Pond straightaway. Don't look now, but these 3 guys are closing in fast. Ace Garcia, Caleb Hoffman, and Alexander Rowe. There goes Bartow to the inside for the lead. And with help from Eli Bright, this time the number 4 should be able to take it through turn 3. Bartow has cleared the 34, and he's trying to pull away from this side-by-side battle behind him, and he's going to pull away a little bit. And Trey Bartow, the Season 1 winner here at Pocono, will lead lap 25 here in the Herr's Live Life with Flavor 400. A great move there by the veteran driver of Trey Bartow. But he still has to hold these guys off through another pit stop here in this race. But the past 2 pit stops, the leader coming down the pit lane was the leader coming off the pit lane as well. And that is good news for Trey Bartow. We're not going to have too many laps here at the end of this one. And all you need is fuel. You don't need tires here. All you need is fuel. Al Legacy, however, is going to go to the inside and try to take the lead back from Trey Bartow. They're side by side for the lead on lap 26 to 32. Caution free so far here at the Pocono Raceway. A very welcome sight. Legacy taking it away. Bartow's going to fall back to 3rd as Eli Bright gets around him in the 13. All that battling for the lead is going to allow Garcia, Hoffman, and Rowe to close in here. And I'm telling you, all you need to do on this next pit stop is take fuel. Gas and go and just get out there and get the win. Guy who does it the fastest is probably going to win. They're side by side for second between Eli Bright and Trey Bartow. This next cycle is closing in fast, I can tell you that. They're going to come down any time now. Al Legacy still out front in the 34. Bartow has fallen back to 3rd. Eli Bright runs in the 2nd position. Bartow's going to try to get back to the inside. Not able to do so. Here is Hoffman, Rowe, and Garcia. They are right here right now. Trey Bartow and Caleb Hoffman are teammates at Stewart Haas Racing. And Al Legacy is going to come down the pit lane in the 34 for the final cycle of pit stops in this race. Gas and go is all you need. But will these guys do so? Are they going to think that tires are going to be beneficial? It's only 5 laps to go in this race. You seriously could just make it on fuel only on this stop and still get the win. We're just going to have to see what happens. We're going to see what Al Legacy does here in the 34. And you see his pit stall there. Is it going to be gas and go? It does appear that they're going to take tires. So are all these guys going to take tires? Or will somebody take some strategy and go fuel only? That's what you got to do to win this race at this point. If you're one of these guys back in here, just go for the fuel and that's all you need. Hoffman will stay out another lap. That is not good considering that these guys are taking tires here on this pit stop. Al Legacy will get out ahead of the 13 and the 27. It's all going to come down to where Bartow falls in place of the rest of these guys. And Bartow has come down the pit lane in the number 4. Caleb Hoffman has inherited the lead in the 14. So what will Bartow do? Will he go fuel only or will he take some tires to try to beat out the other guys? If I'm Bartow, I'm going to take fuel only here. That's my call. But they're going to take tires on the number 4, and I believe everybody's taking tires on this set of pit stops, which I just don't understand. I just don't understand why you would want to do that. It's only going to be right sides, though, for the number 4 of Trey Bartow. And the number 34 of Al Legacy is just crossing the line. Bartow on the 4 trying to get out ahead of the 34. Will he be able to do so? Yes, he will. Only a few laps left to go in this race, but Legacy is closing in fast. But Bartow's going to be right here on this 34. He's going to try to block him. He will block him. Great move by Trey Bartow, keeping the 34 behind. At this moment, it's between Trey Bartow and Al Legacy. But Garcia, Bright, and Rowe are not too far behind. Where will Hoffman fall in of the rest of these guys? We actually still have some guys still out there on the racetrack, I believe. I think Hoffman went gas and go. He is out. Oh, I just don't know right now. The 34 has gotten around Trey Bartow. It's going to be 2 laps to go this time by for Al Legacy, I do believe. In the number 34, Hoffman did not go gas and go. He cannot get that far out ahead and still be the leader. It's impossible. But then again, I don't think he's even come down yet. So Hoffman is actually still the leader. Is he going to try to make it the whole way? No, he isn't. He's coming down now. But will there be somebody who can make it? Isaac Nichols is coming down. Blaine Keys is coming down. Jonathan King coming down. John Arndt, Elijah Gordon, they're all coming down. This is the battle for the lead right here. With now 2 laps to go. These guys actually were 3 laps to go the last lap. So it's going to be 2 laps to go for these guys next time by. I'm wondering if Al Legacy took 4 tires. He's driving pretty fast. Oh boy, Hoffman, I believe he is done with his pit stop. And this number 14 is coming out into the racetrack. I believe Hoffman's going to come out ahead of Al Legacy. Yes, he is. Caleb Hoffman way out ahead of the 34. And will Caleb Hoffman pull away with the victory in this one? The next time by, it's the white flag. And the Herrs Live Life with Flavor 400. Will Caleb Hoffman in his final season of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series get into the chase? Or will Al Legacy close in and take it away? Caleb Hoffman, listen to me. Fuel only on this 14. And a massive lead for the retiring driver at the end of the season. I think this one's made right now. Legacy is just way too far behind to close in, even with fresh tires. How about this move by the number 14 team of Caleb Hoffman? Hoffman will take the white flag here at the Pocono Raceway. 1 lap to go. For if he were to get this win, would be the all-time winningest driver in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series and tied all-time winningest driver on Napa Fan with Garrett Zenor. It's a 3-second lead for Caleb Hoffman. I told him when he was going to retire that we were going to make this season very special for him. And it's going to be a very special moment for the driver of the number 14 here today at the Pocono Raceway. One of the longest running drivers in this series announced his retirement almost a year ago, but he is going to battle for a championship in season number 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. One final corner for the Stewart Haas racing driver of Caleb Hoffman. Will this be his final win? We might not know, but we're going to savor it now. Off the final corner, one more for Hoffman. It's going to Caleb Hoffman at the Pocono Raceway. Caleb Hoffman wins the Herrs Live Life with Flavor 400. And Caleb Hoffman is in the chase for season number 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. It was the perfect strategy call for these guys. Fuel only on the final stop. And you know what? I could be a pretty good crew chief because I was the one saying to make that call. When I was seeing everybody else taking tires, I'm like, take fuel only. That is exactly what the number 14 did. And Caleb Hoffman, this very well might be his final ever win on this channel. So savor it now, man. You're in the chase for season 6. And you're a winner in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series for the 7th time. That one's special for me because Caleb Hoffman, of course, is a great friend of mine. Of course, I did not make him win. But I am very excited for him because, of course, this is his final season, and he's just a great guy. And he's going to be in the chase for season number 6 with this win. My home state race, how about that one? For Caleb Hoffman, the number 14 team. Igor Barreto, the owner of this team. They got a pretty good run here today with Hoffman and Bartow. Not sure about Fitzwater and Alonso, but those two drivers there definitely did a fantastic job. And that's the first win for Stewart Haas Racing this season in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. And speaking of first, this was the first caution-free race of the season in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series here at the Pocono Raceway. It was caution-free last season, caution-free again here today, but it was exciting, especially for a guy named Caleb Hoffman. Ace Garcia, Al Legacy, Eli Bright, Alexander Rowe, Blaine Keys, Trey Bartow, Isaac Nichols, Derek Hamill, and Jonathan King, the top 10 here today. And that one is going to be a special one. For the 18-time winner on Napa Fan, Caleb Hoffman, his 7th career win in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. And, he's a big deal. And, I mean, he's a big deal because of all his wins, but also a big deal because he's such a good friend of mine. And, I know that I shouldn't show bias towards other drivers, but you know what? In this community, it's kind of hard not to do so when all you guys are just so awesome, especially Caleb. And, that was just awesome to see him get that victory. 7th career win in the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series, and it comes at the Pocono Raceway. Rest of the results right there. Ricky Stevenson was the only driver to finish multiple laps down. He had an issue on the first cycle of pit stops. But as for everybody else, they finished on the lead lap. It was a nice, clean race. And nice to see a caution-free race, especially after that Richmond race that we had last Wednesday. But anyways, congratulations to Caleb Hoffman for winning the Herrs Live Life with Flavor 400. And he is going to be in the chase for Season 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching. Here are the point standings for Season 6 of the Chick-Fil-A Cup Series after race number 10. And that is it for me here today from the Pocono Raceway. Congratulations to Caleb Hoffman once again, and I will see you guys later.
Gonna live it up open-hearted. Gonna leave my fear behind. Already made up my mind. And I'm not gonna waste my time. No, I'm not gonna waste my time.